Salutum Podcast.
Hey, this is Josh Pearson.
Performance specialist with the Complete Athlete.
This is Cole Warren.
Certified USAPL club coach and owner of Salutum Health and Performance. Each week, Cole and Josh will take you through training techniques and tips, talk to athletes and fitness professionals to educate and motivate you for your fitness goals. Plus, you'll follow the journeys of Team Salutum Powerlifting and Get Complete Athletes. The Coaches Collaboration Podcast is brought to you by The Complete Athlete, providing world-class continuing education for fitness trainers, coaches, and gyms, specializing in Olympic weightlifting, powerlifting, strongman, barbell and hip classes, personal programming, specialty clinics, competitions, strength and conditioning. Get Complete. Isn't it time to take your coaching to the next level? Using continuing education with research and evidence-based info and offering specialty services from a team of certified coaches online and on-site. It's time to Get Complete. The Complete Athlete, online at getcomplete.net. And now, the Coaches Collaboration Podcast.
We are here today with KIPP, a.k.a. Cows and Kilos.
Yes.
I want to know how KIPP got into powerlifting. That always interests me about, because especially you are, nowadays I would call you like, you're like an OG because you were doing it before it was fucking popular. I was. Before Instagram was big, before all this shit, you were doing it then. So how did
OG KIPP HINZ. I had to do it.
What was it like
my OG
in the
Bobby
20s?
Johnson. Sorry.
What was it like through the Great Depression? Tell us about
Oh
it.
my God, he's only 30. Not even. He's 29.
So I started powerlifting in 2005. I started lifting weights as a freshman in high school. I was 5'6", 135, 140 pounds.
Okay. So you wanted to get big.
So now you're 5'5",
I got bullied.
'cause
I
it'll
got
make you
bullied
shrink.
horribly in middle
Did you
school.
really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, sons of bitches.
Yeah.
Oh
Wait
yeah.
a minute. Hold on, though. How many of us here
Where'd you grow
had
up?
people be total dickheads to them in high
Wisconsin.
school?
Okay. Nope.
Okay, never mind. Oh, I suppose that wasn't Cole. Cole was the cool kid everyone wanted to date, asshole. I got bullied in high school.
I mean, by the time I got into high school, though, I was kind of doing my own thing. I was farming.
Do you have a sick truck?
Oh yeah.
With
Yeah?
whips and everything?
Fucking
No, I had
jacked up?
stacks though.
Oh, there you
I
go.
totally would have wanted to date you.
Fuck
I'd have
yeah.
been like, "Hi, Kim. Do you want to go to the prom?"
Absolutely.
I totally would have been.
Stacks, dude.
Flat tops.
Holy
Yeah.
Do you have tappers on them
No,
too?
no,
Fuck,
Dang.
man.
no.
That's awesome,
No,
Kip.
no,
Make and model. Make and model.
I was wearing what?
Make and model.
It was 02 Dodge.
Oh my
you're
God! I
fucking-
would have been like, "Hi, Kim.
Yeah,
you
her name
do-
was Queen.
I'll do all
Her
your
name was
reports for
Queen.
you.
Trailer
I love
Queen.
that you named
Just
it
let me
Trailer
ride in your
Queen.
truck."
So, but I was
Yeah.
I was our total hit kid. I wore my Red Wing boots every day.
Fucking
I had,
right, dude.
I had my pants, like a belt buckle. It said Big Boss. Like I just.
Hell yeah.
I did not. By the time I
yeah.
hit high school, I did not give a flying fuck what you thought. I was like, fuck you, fuck this. Like
Did
I
you
did.
fucking chew in school?
No, I
too?
didn't. No,
I
I
just-
didn't. I didn't reach that point.
Can we take a moment just to talk about how I might be slightly turned on right now? I'm not
Full
gonna
camo
lie. Might be
gear.
slightly turned on
I
right
wasn't
now.
into
I'm
camo.
like,
I was
oh
all
man, it's
for,
getting
like-
warm in here
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
You had
So,
flannels for every day of the week.
I did.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
tried to get
fuck
away
yeah.
with cutoffs all the time.
Oh,
Fucking
shit.
right.
Button-up cutoffs.
Sleeveless. God
Absolutely.
damn.
Oh my God,
Absolutely.
would you be the guy right now that wears the cutoffs with the flannel and you drink a Busch Light? Because
Bush latte.
We
It's
could
good.
hang.
It's kind of hilarious where I am now. Like now I wear like these.
slacks.
now you're a
Don't
jock.
say slacks.
Now
You
you're a
came,
jock.
you came full circle. Now you're a jock. You were a
did.
hick, and
I
now you're a
did.
jock.
But I started. So the high school has a powerlifting program.
Oh,
the
wow.
Wisconsin high school is really known for their powerlifting. Wisconsin high school is the second largest high school powerlifting state compared to Texas.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and back then, all there was equipped lifting. And so I was actually making up for a missed day my freshman year, and I went in during powerlifting practice. And at that time, I was seeing these seniors put up this really
Ridiculous.
ridiculous
numbers,
amount of weight.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, whoa.
I want to do that.
I want to be that fucker.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I my hand-eye coordination just blows. I couldn't wrestle like basketball. I couldn't fucking make a hoop. Like I just sucked at everything. But I was like, I could do that.
Yeah.
At least I can. I can just get stronger.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I started my sophomore year, and like I said, at that time everything was equipped. So I as soon as I started, I just got the fire, and I got. And
So let me ask you this. So with the high school program thing, it's different than doing it on your own, right? Because you have, like, it's a season, right? And you have a bunch of meets in this 3-4 month period.
It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. So it's not like not like most people out there, the general population, who can train 13 weeks for a meet, do a meet, and then take a bunch of time off, and then train for a meet and do a meet and do like 4 meets a year. You're doing like a bunch of meets in a small period of time.
So in high school, it's your winter sport.
Right.
So you sign up around Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
You get into gear around Christmas. By the middle of January, you got your first meet. Second week of February, you got your second. Second or third week of March, you got state, and then 2-3 weeks later, you have nationals.
So it's just boom, 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 boom.
4 in 3 months.
Fucking, you
That's
better
crazy.
hold on.
How exhausted are you by the end of
maxing
that
out.
season?
That sounds like a weightlifter's routine. Max out every week.
It
Fuck
must be kind of cool though to be able to go through and just watch those numbers because you know those numbers are just gonna, especially with newbie gains, like,
Everyone's on the newbie games
blowing
train.
up.
And everybody's competing with everybody. And
No wonder they're also jacked. I did the high school. I announced
jacked
the high
up.
school. Were you at the high school, state high school? Were you officiating that one? I don't think you were.
Not Minnesota, Wisconsin. I did.
Okay, because I was gonna say, now I can see one, why the high school powerlifting coaches are so goddamn intense, and two, why some of the high school lifters look so fucking nervous because they probably were like, "This is only like the 5th day I've ever powerlifted." Like, oh my god.
Yeah. So I started powerlifting my sophomore year, and then I went off the deep end.
You got bit by the iron
I
bug,
got
as they say.
really bit.
Yeah.
And then my first state, I did horrible.
Of course. I mean, who doesn't?
Absolutely. And then I went to Alexandria, Louisiana for no, that would have been Omaha. I went to Omaha, Nebraska for my first nationals. And then when you put yourself on a national platform, that also gives you another, like right now everybody wants to go to Raw Nats.
Yeah.
Because you can't compare a local platform to a national level platform.
No.
So then when you get on it, you want to get back to it.
Right.
So then the next year I came back even more on fire.
Because the first year you go, you like get a taste. And then the whole following year, you're like, okay, I know what that's like now. I need to fucking train my ass off so I can be the best on that day than the following year. So it gives you that extra little freaking motivation.
Yep. So then the following year I went up a weight class and I got to state as a junior. And my coach kind of slipped up and I ended up in second. And I was raging pissed. Just absolutely
Bad attempt call or what?
Yeah, bad calling. And so I lost that, and then I went down to Alexandria, Louisiana. I had to do a cut because back then they had 142, 153, 165. Well, then when you got to nationals, they took 142 and 153 and went to 148.
Oh, so
So then I had to lose those 5 pounds. Those 5 pounds made all my equipment loose.
Oh,
shit.
damn it. I forgot you were doing equipped.
God damn.
So that was just horseshit.
Awkward and
So
weird.
then so now I'm really on fire, and I came back my senior year, and fortunately enough, I won state at 165. I got a deadlift record. I took the total record, and then I went to nationals and I won that.
Fucking right, man.
Fuck yeah.
Yep.
And you looked at all those assholes from high school and were like, "Hey, fuck you, bitches."
Oh yeah, because then when you're in high school, you have your rivalry that's carried on for years.
Right.
Because I had one kid that we went neck and neck for all that time, and we follow each other. We gained weight classes and everything, and he was the big squatter, I was the big deadlifter. I mean, that's just how it went.
Yep. That's fun though.
It's all proven on the bench.
Oh,
right?
I'm poverty.
If he can out squat you, you can out deadlift him. It's all on the bench.
That's kind of true, except
Yeah,
my bench.
bench is kind of the X factor.
Yeah.
Dude, if you can be really good at bench, though, I mean, take it from a chick who has a shitty squat. If you can be really good at bench, you can usually, I can blow some serious women out of the water,
As a
especially
female,
at local meets.
for sure.
Yeah.
As a
Yeah.
female,
Holy
for sure.
hell.
Yeah.
I suppose with dudes, though, you guys have much bigger benches, so I mean, it's got to be a lot harder.
In today's world, you're good at all three.
Yeah, you have to
The
be.
ones that are winning are good at all three. There's nothing that they
There's
suck
no
at.
specialty.
Right.
No.
Not necessarily, yeah.
But then, so after I finished my high school career, I went to college.
What?
Well, I went to short course. This is down in UW Madison. It's a
Okay.
course put on by the university that's for farmers.
Okay.
Oh, awesome.
Yep, but gained 40 pounds.
Hell yeah.
Oh yes, we went
Couple
hard.
bush lattes or a day?
Every
or what?
day. Every day.
Yes,
every
excelente.
every week was a case in a bottle.
Jeez.
No joke.
Fucking right.
So then
bud.
I came back to the farm, and I lost all that weight in 6 weeks.
Well, yeah,
and then
because you're working your ass off again.
and then I went to Denver.
wow.
Went to Denver for teen junior nationals, and that was my last meet that I did until 2014.
So that was your
Wow.
break then. That was the long.
I took a 5-year break.
Yeah, I was
and
gonna
that and
say.
then and that time that's when I started my farm. And that whole time I mean I didn't have time to lift really at
Right.
that point. And then through 2013 it was in my process where I moved my dairy. Actually got married. 2014 that went to shit. Ended up getting a divorce, and
Then
that
you're like, well, now I'm divorced. I might as well start lifting weights again.
well, the only reason why I bring that up is because that's what got me in the gym.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Working
man.
on some dark shit.
I
yeah.
wonder. Listen.
And so, like when we talk about hype lists and stuff, like you'll never see me use ammonia
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
because through that time I learned how to tap into that dark emotion. And I feel if you're somebody that is capable of doing that and you're able to channel that, like you will not get any more hyped
Yes.
than if you can tap into emotion.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
and
You touch
and-
that bar and
Yes.
it's on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
how I felt yesterday on my
when I
clean.
look at a lot of these younger lifters, there's not that purpose. There might be passion, but there's no purpose.
Right.
So
That's a quotable right there.
That's awesome.
yeah.
Passion with no purpose.
That's serious. No, that's so true.
So to me, when people go, "Why do you work this hard?" or "Why do you do all this?" I go, "Because I know what it's like to not have it."
Right.
yeah.
Because I spent 5 years where I actually thought about because I left when I was at the top when I was at my personal peak.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah, you just won nationals and fuck
yeah. So I was in the barn and I would not see people for days because I was just slaving, and I would work. I mean, I'd be starting my third shift at 1 o'clock in the morning, and you know that was a time of success and positivity to me that I would look back on. So now, to me, it means so much to get my ass in the gym, to get the work done, and to figure
because
out
you
how
know
to
it's
make this work.
It's a privilege that you're able to do that because you've been in situations where you couldn't do it anymore.
Right.
So you don't, like you
and
said,
that's,
you don't
and that's
take
why
it for granted.
these younger lifters, they don't understand why some of them don't get the credibility because of how they, you know, whether it's they represent themselves or how they portray what lifting means to them. Because so many lifters today don't lift with that meaningful
It's
purpose.
all about fucking Instagram, dude.
Right.
It's so sad because I feel like it's so like that's why I fucking love talking to people like you who are doing it for a reason, like just because you love it. You're not doing it because you would, and you did it before there was any fucking internet, before
Absolutely.
there was any like, oh, look at how many fucking followers I have. None of that shit mattered. All that mattered is like you just getting in there and fucking moving weight.
Absolutely.
And it's so pure. That's what I love about that. That is so pure. There's nothing other. You don't have any other things that you are trying to get because you are doing this. You know what I mean? There's
Just to better yourself.
yeah.
well,
Yeah.
and
And
one,
you know what hard work is.
And I'll tell you what a pet peeve of mine right now is there's some Instagram inspirations right now where they're throwing out the quote of not letting your lifting define you. And I absolutely
Why not? Like, why not let your like?
well, you're talking. I mean, these
Well,
people
I'm
that are
probably
saying
on a different level than these people are saying.
right,
this at.
but to me, it's like okay, if you're at that point, to me, it's kind of like you've lost the purpose of which you started lifting.
Yeah.
Right.
And to me, it's like okay, if you're throwing it out in that definition, if you're talking about it in that tense, that means you are worried about what people think of you,
Right.
because you are letting it define you. Where for
Yeah.
me, it's my definition.
Yeah.
yeah.
To me, my lifting is my definition. That's what
yeah.
That's
Right.
what I focus on. My lifting it is my definition. I don't give a fuck about what anybody else thinks about how I lift or why I lift. It's my definition. How you portray it is up to you. If it defines me, if I define myself to you as somebody who just obsesses over what I do at the gym or how I try to revolve my life to how it make it work, I don't care. It's my definition. It's
Right.
what gets me through. I mean, we see people that they get on drugs, they get on alcohol, they do all this other shit. I mean, it's really no different.
It's coping.
I mean, it is. And for
Yeah.
me, not to say that I've been through really hard times, but by the time I was 27, I was bankrupt and divorced. I mean, I lost everything. So to me, it's my definition.
You went through some tough times early. You know what I
Oh.
mean?
Oh,
that
yeah.
I mean, you fucking lived life.
And you got through it lifting. Well, you got to the other
was your
side
constant.
by lifting.
That was my
Your
my
anchor.
positivity. That's where I could go and I could escape, I could release. And I mean, I won't lie, when I first came back, I was that guy that was screaming, I was burning out just every session.
Yeah.
But that's when I was letting out, I was tapping into that emotion, and
Yeah.
I did not have it channeled. I couldn't control it.
Right.
Yeah.
But it gave me that release, because I didn't believe in depression till I actually had it.
Right.
And that's when I got my ass back in the gym.
Yeah, because it made you feel good.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it gave me a reason to work hard. It gave me a reason to manage my time. It gave me a reason to keep on going to get there. So,
I think now that you've explained it that way, it makes total sense to me. I think people will use the "don't let your lifting define who you are" kind of bullshit are the people who are struggling right now. And they're trying, in my sense, I see it as the people who are like, well, my squat doesn't feel like it should feel. Or, you know what, then you need to literally, it should help define what the fuck is going on with you. So ask yourself, what can I do better? Because if there's anything I will say, when I walk into the gym and I'm under that bar, there's nobody fucking else that's under that bar. That's me. That is mine. Nobody can fucking take that from me except for me.
What that hashtag tells me is that people are scared to fucking take ownership of their shit.
There you go.
Like if they're obviously like if their lifting isn't going the way that they want it to, and they're like, well, I'm not gonna let that define me. It's like, well, or you just should fucking see what's going wrong, own it, and then fix it.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly. I think that's exactly where a lot of these lifters are, and
People just can't fucking. They just want to blame other stuff for their
yeah.
shit.
And I mean, I hope I kind of explained it to a point where people can understand it.
No, yeah,
No,
I
yeah,
totally
dude.
get what you're saying. Like when you first said it, I was like,
fucking
why
hyped.
wouldn't I let my lifting define who I am? Because that's who I fucking am. And I also think that when we talk about passion, there's two different types of passion here. There's the I want to be a better lifter so other people see me as a better lifter. And then there's that passion where you see something happen. Like I remember the first time I saw Cole pull a deadlift and I was sitting with my personal trainer trying to do these dumbbell overhead shits that were making my shoulders hurt. And I remember thinking to myself, holy fuck, I want to fucking do that.
Yeah.
And that's when it was born. And like, I will be the first to tell you that I get really intense when I go to lift. And if it's a really serious session or a competition, like I love how it feels when you very first put your hands on the knurling and you feel it grind into your hand when you do that first grind down, when you literally can feel like when I'm staring at the deadlift bar being loaded for my deadlift in competition, not only am I looking at it like I'm going to eat the fuck out of this weight here in a second, but I literally, that feeling you get when your lats tighten while you're staring at it because you're like, I'm going to go pick this shit up.
Yeah.
This is going to be great.
It's the process that you
It's
love.
it's that whole experience, and nobody else will experience it the same way I do.
Right.
But that's mine, and I fucking love
So
it.
now I'm going to take it to the next. I'm going to take it one step farther. When you go equipped, you have a whole nother.
Here he comes on his fucking soapbox. Talking
Here's the
about
deal:
equipment.
you're
I-
not allowed to talk to me about this because Cole's already shut me down twice. So
Oh well, I mean, this is just me, but this is my definition of equipped lifting, where it's really a whole nother tier or
Yeah,
or a whole nother
absolutely,
element. You cannot, like, to me, raw lifting is boring, completely boring. And when you are in your tight suit and your reps are at a freaking 10.
Yeah.
There is no, and Blaine Sumner says it. There's no adrenaline rush like that.
Like holding
And-
fucking 900 pounds over your face.
And to me, when I'm at that point, that means you went through an entire fucking prep. You know, you slaved and you got to this point. Like, to me, I feel like I'm fucking Superman.
yeah.
When I'm about to
Yeah.
go up to that bar on meet day, I'm fucking Superman.
Yeah.
I am suited up in my armor and I am ready,
Ready to go.
I'm ready to kill some shit.
And I got to believe every time you put your knee wraps on, let's say, you're almost tapping into every single workout that you had to put your knee wraps on for.
See,
You're, like,
and that's the other thing
calling upon all of that.
about equipped lifting. In raw lifting, I mean, you can literally sit in your chair until you get called, put
And then
your
just
belt
walk
on.
up.
Yeah.
When you are in equipped lifting, it starts four lifters
process.
out.
And
Your
if you
lift
fuck that up,
Your lift starts 4 lifters out when you squat. And why it's when you're an equipped lifter watching equipped lifting, it all comes into how that lifter walks out with the weight, how they handle the weight, and because everything is so intense.
The room for error is so fucking minuscule with equipped lifting that you need to pay attention to every little thing, and everything affects the next thing. It's such a process and a chain of events that if one thing goes wrong at the beginning of your setup or something, I mean, you've seen videos of people with equipped lifting. They literally they'll fall asleep at the fucking top because they're so tight, or they'll be walking out and they can't bend their knees because their knee wraps are so tight, and they'll fucking fall over.
Or they
backwards.
black out benching.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
I mean, if you watch enough equipped benching, I mean, it's hard to hit your chest.
Yeah.
And unless you've been through that, you can't really respect what you're watching unless you've actually done it yourself.
Well, and it doesn't feel good either.
Oh,
no.
Yeah, those
It's
shirts
fucking
just
painful.
rip your skin. I gotta
Well,
believe.
I mean, let's be real. There's nothing really great about squat suits and knee wraps.
No.
Oh no.
Knee wraps
So,
when you have
okay.
someone else put them on
Let
for
me
you
just-
and
let me
they're
just take-
cutting your skin. No thanks.
I don't know if Tommy listens, but let me just take this moment to call Tommy Schneider a little bitch. Tommy's a raw lifter, and Kip wrapped his knees a couple weeks ago, and he literally got done wrapping the one and started wrapping the other one, and Tommy's like, "Nope, take it off, right now, take it off." He couldn't even
Jesus.
fucking, and he wasn't like standing on it
And I wrapped
bending
him
it
at
at all.
about a 6 out of 10.
Right. Yeah.
So it
And I gotta believe. So you were talking setup. So you have the bar on your back. You're not just thinking about where's the bar position, but you're thinking about pushing into the wraps. You're thinking about so many. What's my suit doing? Am I stretching it appropriately? And you have so many more things you have to attribute for, consider.
yeah.
It's
Then me, it's just
like
sit down, stand up.
it's a whole nother element.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, it's a suit of armor, but it's a suit of armor that you can use wrong.
I like to say it like, so if raw lifting is like NASCAR, equipped is like fucking IndyCar, where it's just turned up a little bit more. It's faster. The room for error is smaller. You need faster reaction time. You need more technique. Everything is just a little bit more.
Well, and there's more. There's so much intensity, not just with the lifters, but even when you watch it in the competition. Because when I was at Wisconsin High School State, there was 5 platforms, and it's raw is huge and it's growing, and I love it. I'm not throwing shade at it or anything. However, there was one platform that was equipped. Okay, so I was not judging that platform, but with that one platform that was equipped, there was 3 platforms worth of audience that was cheering for that one platform.
Yeah.
Because it's so intense. Because at this point, like, this is all the best lifters of that meet on that one platform that are equipped, and because there's so much. I mean, even the spotters, they have to be ready at all times.
Yeah.
Like, there's no give.
Right.
Right.
And so you have your audience at the edge of their seat watching this.
Because it could go
When
fucking
you're-
It's
wrong.
like NASCAR that could go right into the wall. You have
Right.
no idea.
When as a judge, when you're doing it raw, you're just focusing on getting lifters done.
Yep.
Yeah.
You cannot run an equipped platform like you do a raw. I mean, you just can't, because it does take that much more time. But I mean, with every lift, there's so much more going into that one lift.
Yeah.
And in new equipped lifters, I mean, you'll see it all the time. They're toast by the time they're done with squat.
Yeah.
You have 6 more lifts to go, bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your
You
adrenaline
You
is
better not be
gone.
tired yet.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's the level of intensity that it takes in the amount of, there's so much, not just skill in how to learn the suit wraps, the shirt, but I mean, how do you manage your energy load? How do you handle your warm-ups? I mean, there's so much more that
Yeah,
goes
I
into
When
it.
do you get into your suit? When do you
Right.
get into your shirt?
Yeah.
How do you time all that out with making sure that you're ready to be on the platform
Right.
or on your opener?
Yeah. Well, I got to believe if you have an audience that is giving you so much energy, you're going to just blow your first rep out of the water. It's going to be so fast, but it's going to tax you so much.
Or
if you're
potentially you could fucking get too hyped up and then
And
fuck
bomb
up.
out.
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I've
and
seen it go both
if you're
ways.
not able to control that,
Right.
the equipment will take over.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. I mean, and that's why everybody loves to throw shade on spotters, especially at equipped meets. things happen so fast that if these spotters don't know what they're dealing with, things go at a blink of an eye. Whether if you stand up tall and the bar goes back, if you're on a bench, it'll go right for your head. I've had a bar go right for my head. I turned my head and it went behind me because the spotters didn't pick it fast enough, and it dropped below my head.
Yeah.
Like, I've been there, but this is
and you're stuck in a shirt.
And it's stuck in a shirt.
Yeah.
But this is
Exactly.
part of it. Like, this is what we do.
I need to stop talking to people who lift equip because I might fucking do it.
Yeah, butt face. You know,
Okay.
I have a friend who's an
You
equipped lifter.
haven't even lifted for 2
To be
years.
a
You know
good
what?
equipped lifter,
You know
you
what?
still have to be raw strong.
You know what?
You don't
two can
have
go
to
fuck
be.
yourself, okay? Because seriously, I know I have a good friend who is like, she's like, I will send you some men's shirts because she and I are almost
He
identical
knows
in
who
size.
Becky Holcomb is.
Becky
Oh, I
had a very
suppose.
good podcast.
Yeah. And I was like, hey, cool. So like Becky said she would totally send me a couple bench shirts. Like, do you ever want to like try that? And he's like, Stevens, you're not doing that until you've been at least 2 years in this program.
And I do have to agree with them.
Well, I know, but you're not supposed to. We're all supposed to throw shade at Cole right now because it's rare that I can throw shade at Cole and actually make any sense. But no, it was funny because when I started watching it, it's just so fucking intriguing, especially once you kind of, I mean, I may not be that experienced yet in raw lifting, but once you understand the concept and you understand this process, I just have to grow a little more first. But once you understand that and then you see that next level, you're like, dude, how do I get a ticket for that show?
Yeah.
Like, wow,
Yeah.
like that looks super cool.
But without a doubt, it takes a lot more to be an equipped lifter. It takes more time, it takes more sacrifice, it takes more dedication. But for me, when we talk about definition and the purpose of why I lift, that's why I lift. Because I lift for that moment before I squat.
Yeah.
You know, that moment of hitting. So right now I'm at a 729 squat. And to me, to go after 804, I mean, I never would have dreamed I could have even thought of that number being capable.
Right.
Yeah.
To me, it just means that I have to, how do I say it? The amount of
Discipline?
no, the amount that I'm gonna get back, like the feeling that I'm gonna get back, hitting those type of milestones, are gonna surpass anything I could accomplish raw.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like it's one of those things too. Is like once you go equipped,
You don't go back
you don't go back
because
nothing
people
can-
get addicted to that intensity.
Yeah.
I think that's why Cole doesn't want me to go anywhere near it. I'm going to be perfectly honest. He's going to be like, listen, you're ADD enough. Can you just focus on depth for right now and not worry about your fuck? It's because I love benching, okay? I love benching.
Yeah, if you had a
Depth-
bench shirt,
Depth is hard enough to hit in a suit. You can't even do it raw. So let's fucking figure that out
Leave
first, all
my,
right,
listen,
Stevens?
I personally think I'm a hitting depth. It's just I have this really big, wide shelf butt, and I think y'all are just looking at my hip crease wrong.
Is that even,
Jesus.
you know, there's a judge right here. So
I know, it's really bad.
Were
Kip, I'm
we
really
about to
sorry ahead
break
of
off
time.
in a squat session and find out?
Dude,
But
if I
Cole,
was
don't you think
warmed
it'd
up
be
and Kip was
amazing
here, like I would seriously.
if in a year you'd be doing 850?
oh yeah, dude.
I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
or
see, that's in that
deadlift suits don't give you
But
as
the
much as
question
a
is,
squat suit,
are
but-
you willing to take the time?
Exactly.
Are you
To
willing to
learn the
put
suit.
in the effort it takes to get there?
Yeah.
Because people take the assumption, if I throw this shit on,
Right,
I'm just gonna blow you out of the water.
Yeah, no.
First day, you're gonna
And there's
suck.
no doubt that some lifters get more out of equipment than others.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but
there's factors to that though. It's their
the people that get the most out of it are the ones that spend the most time
Practicing,
perfecting.
yeah.
Practicing and perfecting that craft. And that's why raw and equipped lifting are really two totally different things.
Because for raw lifting, you could just have a freak come up and squat 600 pounds who's just a fucking freak in nature.
And
You know
put
what I
them in
mean?
a suit and they only get 620.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they don't hit their depth or whatever because they're like, what the fuck is going on?
If you want a way of humbling somebody, throw them in a squat suit, throw them in a pair of knee wraps because
Just knee wraps.
oh yeah, like Tommy. I mean,
Yeah.
Tommy, you
Oh,
totally
that was the best thing I've ever seen. Was Tommy whining like a sissy little fucking girl? Get him off, kid, get him off.
When you can barely bend your knees.
You literally waddle up.
Dude, I've been doing
when
the
you
voodoo
said,
raps.
when you walk to the rack, I was thinking bullshit.
No,
You're
you
waddling so
fucking
hard.
wide leg waddle.
You're waddling so fucking hard.
I've been doing those voodoo wraps. I don't know if you're familiar with those really stretchy, like it's basically look like TheraBands, but they're really thick, and you voodoo wrap your leg like really, 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 really tight. And then you're supposed to squat in them and whatnot. It helps promote blood flow when you take them off. Holy fuck. I'll put those on and I go walk around like Frankenstein up and down the gym twice, and people are looking at me like, what's wrong with her? And I'm like, you have no idea. I can't feel my
Now
legs.
imagine those voodoo wraps
And then-
aren't that nice plasticky rubber that they're fucking
right? Only now they're ripping your skin and you're unbelievable, right?
I know.
And now you have to put 800 pounds on your back and squat.
I will say though, there's nothing as liberating as the walkout. Like it'll feel heavy as fuck, but when you walk out and all of a sudden it's heavy, and then you feel your body get into position, and you drop it, even if it's not the best squat of your life, when you get that weight back up, man, God, that's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
I'm almost the
really
other way.
is.
My heaviest set feels light as fuck.
Same.
Like I hype myself up so hard
When I get it off the rack.
that I put it up, get it off the rack, and I'm like, got this.
Yep.
See, now for me, when I tap in, when we talk about hype and getting ready for that big squat or any meet day, when I can tap into that emotionally,
Yeah.
I just feel invincible.
Yeah. Dude,
There's
and, like,
nothing. There's
fuck,
nothing.
dude.
There's nothing that can touch me.
That's always
like don't lip off to me, because I'm probably gonna punch you in the fucking
Dude,
face.
Well, that's why Nick was so afraid to even move yesterday when I was going for a PR clean, because he just saw that it was just brewing in me. You
Yeah.
fucking, if you throw me off right now, I will rip your throat out.
Yeah.
Don't fucking move.
But it also takes it takes a certain someone to be able to channel that and not
Yes.
not release that. The people that I mean, I was definitely that person, but the ones that go out on the platform and start throwing on a show.
Yeah.
I mean, they just start releasing all of this,
Right.
Kinetic
Energy.
energy that they're
Yeah.
building up.
Yeah.
I'm
When-
like you and I pace.
when you
Oh, I pace so
see, I
fucking
sway.
much.
I sway back
Oh,
and
yeah.
forth
Yeah.
because I have to move my body.
Yeah.
But
I need some sort of output, so
Yeah.
I need to move somehow, but I'm still trying to fucking build it.
So like, so some of these songs that I have, I mean, I have it. I feel like I get so hyped. I can feel the pulse. Like I can feel my. I
Like
can-
your heart aligns with it almost, right?
not the music, but I can feel.
the blood just coursing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it starts pumping that,
and
not
there's-
just fast, but that hard.
There's no better feeling than when you're like setting up for a deadlift and the fucking song hits at the perfect time. You get the fucking chills running down your back, and then oh my god, dude.
My hype song will almost make me cry.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
get so emotional
Same
and worked
here.
up, and I'm just trying not to show it on my face. My face is dead calm, but
Yeah.
I'm fucking pacing.
Yeah.
I'm
and
just
that's
ready.
and that's when you can see that lifter has channeled
Mm-hmm.
that energy, because when you, especially as an equipped lifter on meet day, you have a vial of energy,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and it's so big. And how many times does it come down to that third deadlift?
Yeah.
How are you going to
Exactly.
manage your bottle of energy to get to that third deadlift?
Right. How many times do you see someone equipped or raw, they fucking have a grinder of of a third squat, and then they kind of pay for that when it comes
Oh,
back around
absolutely.
and deadlifts.
Absolutely.
You pay for every single lift you do that day, and like you said, you got a vial of energy, and it's only so big. So if you fucking wipe half of that out right away in the squats, then you better up your dose of pre-workout or something. 'cause,
Oh yeah, but when we talk and when people start getting on the topic of going 9 for 9,
yeah.
I mean, going 9 for 9, there's so much that goes into that conversation, because you want to build a total, but not just build a total. You want to put the heaviest amount of weight on the bar throughout
Yes.
all 9 lifts.
Yes.
Right.
You want to
have
maximize what you're capable of that
in
day.
9 lifts,
Yes.
not just one.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't understand what it means that you still have 6 lifts after you're done squatting.
Right.
Don't just blow your load.
Yeah, don't do an RPE 11 on
Right.
your last
I
squat.
mean, don't get me wrong. We want to put the max amount of weight on the bar. Okay? But we also we need to put ourselves in a position where we're going to place as high as possible.
I'll say this too, especially like more so this will be for local meets when placing and stuff really doesn't matter that much. I would almost rather, because like the last meet that I did, literally my last squat and deadlift were fucking probably an RPE 8.5. But so what people say is they don't want to leave weight on the platform. I left some potential weight on the platform, but I was like, that gives me more motivation for the next time, because I'm like, fuck, man, like I crushed that 605 squat. Like I have confidence going into the rest of the meet.
It's huge.
And I know next meet that like
625 or
right,
whatever.
right.
Yeah.
I'm kind of setting myself up for with those meets with that the consequences aren't so dire that like it doesn't. I mean, like a world spot doesn't depend on it or not or whatever. It's okay to kind of like, for in my eyes anyway, for someone who's maybe just doing a local meet to get ready for nationals, to not necessarily milk it, but you don't want to fucking hurt yourself at a local meet.
Yeah. Do you need to PR every meet? Not necessarily.
Not because a lot of people nowadays I think are doing these kind of they're like ramping up. Just like for me, because I've been injured, I haven't had as many meets under my belt that I would like. So I'm gonna do one before nationals this year, and I'm gonna kind of go in with the same mentality where I want to go 9 for 9 if possible, leave a little bit of weight on the platform, and then also do that so I'm able to turn around quicker in my training and get back into everything so that I can prep for nationals.
Yeah. And to go, if I see a lifter go 8 for 9 and the one that they missed was their last deadlift, I'd say they almost did a perfect job of hitting, because they left themselves to a point of that last deadlift was the crucial part where they successfully maximized their squat, they successfully maximized their bench, and they put themselves in a position to go for that placing or whatever it may be. You know, that's a great way to me. That's a great way to learn where you're starting to learn your balance throughout
Exactly. And for me too, another thing that I have to consider as well, because I'm such a gamer, so I overperform at meets than what I should necessarily on paper, just because that competitive environment.
Oh yes.
Just everything, the hype. Like I do far better than what I necessarily should do. So that's why like I kind of have my numbers like on paper what they should be, but then I hit all my third attempts with a little bit left in the tank, just because that X factor kind of came in and hyped me up a little bit more. So
yeah, I'm a next level of that, where when I talk to my coaches, that whoever I'm working with, I try to tell them, when I go in and train, I train at about 65-70%.
yeah.
So when we're at meet day, I'm gonna blow up everything that we have on paper.
Yeah.
Because to look back at my last nationals and how we had 330, 335, 729, 738. I mean, I had 750 in me that day.
Yeah.
Because I took time off and I actually rest and I actually got myself in a position where I was capable of actually maxing out.
Right.
I never got anywhere close to that in the gym because I wasn't physically capable of
Right.
it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I experienced that day that we all lifted with Stan. And like it was kind of that meet environment where we had all these strong motherfuckers in the same room. And prior to that day, the heaviest squat I had done in like 6 months was 545. And just because of the environment, the competitive nature that it was, I literally hit an all-time PR of 610. And that's a pretty big fucking jump. But that's just how I am in that environment. Like I just kind of rise to the occasion and can kind of pull shit out of my ass sometimes.
But I think that it goes to say, too, that you're also extremely level-headed. Like, even when you're at your biggest hype, you have this level-headedness about you where you seem to have reined in your hype. There are
That's
other
what
people.
We were just talking about, how you have to channel that.
Man, there are some people who just can't do that. And
but that also comes from experience.
Right.
Learning your body. when you've done enough meets, when you look at our elites right now, they're so consistent meet to meet because they've done this. They've done this time and time and time again.
For me, I think I learned that skill, especially in football, because you need to bring that level of intensity, but you also need to fucking think on the fly too. So I had to balance that hype factor with being able to think and process at the same time. So that kind of helps me out.
And you can't necessarily hype up to maximum every single play.
Right.
Or all 9 lifts.
Right.
And I think some people, they hype up so hard for that first squat.
Yeah.
They
Well,
hype
and
up
if you
so
think
hard for the
about it,
second squat.
Can you have your heart elevated for 4 hours?
No.
However long,
Yes.
however long.
Yes.
Because
Some of these
that's
meets run 6 hours long. and
so
people-
how are you as a lifter going to manage that?
Right.
If you get yourself
Long
typed
pauses.
up for an attempt, how are you going to come back down?
Yep.
Because the faster you come back down, the more energy you're going to save. If you have a
Exactly.
playlist set up for your entire fucking meet, if your hype playlist is 3 hours long,
Yeah,
you
there's
are
an
going to be
issue.
so fucking fried by the
Right.
time
just
you're done squatting.
emotionally
Yeah.
exhausted.
Oh, absolutely.
Just, you're gonna be
So you
fried.
have to learn how to turn it on and off, and we hear athletes talk about turning it on and off. And in powerlifting, that's so crucial because you have to learn how to turn that on and off
Yeah.
to be able to save enough energy to get you through an entire meet.
That's
And
such
music
good
is
advice.
huge. The music you listen to is huge.
Guys, if you're listening to that, that is such good advice
Yeah.
because I had Ben Hartill, one of my athletes, had his first meet a couple months back. And that was one thing because after every meet, I send my athletes kind of like what went well, what didn't go well, what do you want to change in training, whatever. And one of the things he said, he's like, I just wasn't expecting the downtime in between. He said, like, I knew it was going to be there, but he said, I was expecting to be fucking hyped the whole entire time. So, like, there'd be times where, like,
You almost need to
between
re-warm up.
lifts, I'd go back in the warm-up room, and he's got his beats on fucking pacing back and forth. We don't got to warm up for another hour. I'm like, Ben, sit down, chill out, eat something, fucking talk to your friends, go sit
Right.
by your mom.
Take the
you know
music
what I
out of
mean?
your ear.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
And apart from doing that, it takes multiple meets to learn that, but you also can do it in the gym. Because I've even, you know, and since we brought up Tommy, I'm going to throw him under the bus again. But I've walked in just having a shitty squat session, and I'm like, dude, you need to calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
You just got to reel it in a little bit and then come back to it. If
Yep.
you stay hyped for this 30, 40 minutes and you keep going after that weight thinking things are just going to change, that's pure intent. Like that's
it might, but it's gonna burn you out.
It's
Right.
just running your head into a brick
Right.
wall.
Well, I remember starting with Cole with that USPA meet, my first meet ever, and he had only been my coach for 0 moments because we weren't officially starting till after this meet. And the amount of learning that happened in, what have we had together? 3 meets now? 4 meets?
Yeah.
The amount of learning that happens every single
Oh,
time,
man.
it's unbelievable. Like, I love the fact that when we were recapping in the car or at dinner afterwards, the one of the things that I took the most pride in was that you're like, you know what, we really jive well at these meets. He goes, Brooke, I know exactly what to expect from you now. I know exactly what I need to tell you. I know your cues now.
It's almost like we don't even need to talk anymore.
No, he
You
just
know what I
gets
mean?
it.
It's just like,
Yeah.
we're both we know what to do. We know when to do it.
You know
so.
when to tell me to shut the fuck up and sit in the corner, and you know when to tell me, hey, I need you to be doing this.
Well, and this thing is with that is a lot of that only just comes with experience.
Right.
So there's no substitute for experience.
Well, and
and like someone like Kip who's done fucking how many meets,
enough.
you know, it's an X factor on these meet days that you can fucking go back in the
Relax.
warm up room and you can tell the people who have been there before and the people who haven't. It's night and day.
And it blows my mind, but lifters, they'll have a shitty meet, but they'll come back and do the same damn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it comes back to that purpose. I mean, the lifters that are doing this they take their passion for a purpose, they're willing to learn. And it's not just about changing your technique, changing your diet, you have to change you have to learn every aspect to get better. And that also means managing your hype, what music you listen to, how do you manage, every little thing. And it takes a certain lifter and a certain amount of experience and that amount of purpose where they're willing to make those changes.
Right.
Because
And
otherwise
willing to
they
be
just
wrong.
keep coming
Yeah.
back and just keep on getting hyped
Right.
up time and time and time again. I mean, yeah, they'll take 2 scoops of PR breaker with a motherfucking bang and they're just like, ah.
Well, and that's why I send that questionnaire to these athletes because right away while it's fresh, what went well, what didn't go well. Like and I do the same thing. I reflect on it too. And then I go back and forth like, this is what we need to do next time. Because again, if you don't fucking ask yourself the hard questions and realize your mistakes. If nothing changes, then nothing changes. You can't expect to have a better meet if you just do the same old shit.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, and I think too, if you're going to be serious about meats, let's be honest, these are big investments.
Yeah.
You're paying a ton of
man.
money to get to them. You got a ton of
Time.
money in your time and everything else.
Time.
And I have, like, he's had to talk me off the ledge a couple times. I have a hard time when I go into a meet and everybody's fucking chatty Cathy and they're laughing and I'm like, fucking sit down and get out of my way. Like, I need to sit here. I need to focus. Like, I have a different mentality. And the thing about it too is I watch people and I've had conversations with people who just grab whoever to be a handler because they don't have a coach on site. It's a fucking disaster. You know what? If you are not lucky enough to have a coach on site, because there's going to come a time when I have a meet and Cole's going to have something else going on. It's going to happen at some point. You know what? I'm not just going to go to Joe fucking Schmo and go, hey, I need you to come and handle me at this meet. You need to do the homework. It's like trying to, when we talked about finding a good spot for bench in the gym. You need to do your homework ahead of time. You know when that meet is. You know if your coach or someone who is specifically good at that is going to be able to help you.
Yeah.
Reach out to a fucking meet director even and be like, here's the deal. I'm coming to this meet by myself. Do you know anybody that you can suggest? If you don't have anyone in your own little handbook, ask around. Find somebody who they may not know you very strongly as an athlete, but they can get an idea and at least they're going to understand the process better than grabbing, you know, hey, I got so-and-so's aunt coming in to be my handler.
Right.
You may as well do it alone.
That's what's so awesome about this powerlifting community, especially here in Minnesota, is like there's so many guys that I could just be like, hey, I'll just ask like, hey, are you going to be at this meet? I have an athlete who's going to be there and I can't be there. I'm just going to send you kind of their numbers that I have for them. And I trust, I mean, you know what I mean? There's so many, there's like Kip, there's Ken, there's, you know, anybody that I can reach out and use as a resource. So that's what I like about this and this community we have.
They're willing.
Yeah, I mean, because people fucking care, and that's what's cool.
Well, and as we get, again, going back to being an open, being older, we're all here with the kind of that same mentality.
Yep.
Where we're not getting drug in here. I mean, we're all here to be.
We want to be here.
Yeah. And so, like yesterday, you know, there's a group of us that meets up at American Strength, and I mean, I won't lie, I helped wrapped, and I threw weights, and I did racks for 2 hours before I even started my workout.
Yeah,
because
but it was fun
because we're all in it. We're all in it for the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So if somebody were to reach out to me and say, "Hey, I need help with a lifter," I mean, we all want to help each other because we all want to see each other succeed. It doesn't matter if you're a lifter or coach or anything. We all want to see each other succeed, and that's why I think it's on this level we get that type of dedication among other people.
It's one of the reasons I started volunteering at meets, because I started to see this family that kind of gets built. And even if people never see each other outside of the actual meet itself, but to see that camaraderie and the ability to learn about the meet and to be able to learn and feel how it goes. Like, I remember when I was announcing for the first time ever a meet, it was at Noonan Barbell, and our Noonan Specialists, or whatever they call it, in Alexandria.
Yep, Alexandria.
Yeah. I've never been so nervous in my life. I'm like, these guys are going to think I'm a total fuckhead. I'm going to fuck this up. I am going to fuck this up. And it was funny because there were some times that I did things that maybe weren't on point. And Warpea would literally, he'd turn around and he'd just quietly say, hey, try it in this order or do this. The person next to me was like, no worries, try this. Like, everybody was in this amazing teaching environment. I mean, I do this for a living. I've been on stage at WeFest in front of 50,000 people making announcements, and I sweat less than I did sitting with a microphone at a powerlifting meet in Alexandria, Minnesota. But people will bring you in. You walk in by yourself and say, it's my first meet, I don't know what to do. It's like everybody turns into your grandma. Like, everybody wants to help.
People fucking flock to first lifters.
They
It's
love
like,
it.
Jesus.
They're like, welcome, we'll help you as best we can. So I don't know. It was the smartest decision I ever made. Thank God for Cole lifting on that platform in my Globo gym with his crew of people around him, all with cameras out, all like cheering him on. Because if I hadn't seen that part of powerlifting, I probably would have never stepped into it.
Right.
And that would be really fucking
And
sad.
I cannot, what's the word I'm looking for? But I cannot express enough how important it is that people get involved, volunteer, because it wasn't until I became a state referee and I got behind the scenes and seen what it actually takes to put on these meets. When you look at these national level meets where it's 1,000+ lifters,
It's
Oh my
ridiculous.
God.
it's fucking chaos. I mean, and can you imagine? People don't realize that these referees sit in these chairs all day.
All day.
All day. And you get a 10-minute break.
Yep.
You better go piss real fucking
And you better
fast.
pray that you get there.
Dog and some water.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
And you better pray that you get to the bathroom before everyone else, because your break is the same time as everyone else's break.
And spotters and loaders.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
if we and as the USAPL gets bigger, endures more drama, people don't realize. I mean, if you just sit on your fucking phone and just throw out stories, just bashing them, you're not making a difference. You're not making anything better.
Yeah.
People need to realize that the people that are running this federation have been in this lifting longer than you're fucking born.
Yep.
So
Right.
if you want to see change and you want to see things progress, you
Get
need
involved.
to become and take the right steps. Volunteer. You need to become a referee. You need being a referee. You will become a better lifter.
Yeah.
You get to know the rule book. You get to know the small things, and you just become a better, well-rounded lifter. And for me, Cole, we kind of talked about. I thought about doing some coaching, and I mean, it's not for me. For me, I would rather become a national judge, a CAT level 2 or 1 level judge, and then get into the political side of the USAPL, because I feel like we need lifters that are going to stay in this that long
Yeah.
to make that difference, to make the changes because right now, I mean, we look at all these lifters and lifters that are in their 50s and 60s or 70s. I mean, what they've seen in our lifetime. I mean, we need to have people that are willing to come in
And take the torch.
and adapt to times.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Well,
the
a
thing.
prime example of this right now is Warpea leaving his post in Minnesota.
Yeah.
That is a massively large pair of shoes that he is leaving. And I love the fact that, didn't he talk about it filling with 2 spots instead of 1?
Right, because people don't realize how much this has grown.
Right.
I mean,
What do we have? Almost 700 members in Minnesota, or something crazy.
Oh, probably.
I want to say they
When-
were
when I was
estimating
in
we were
high
going to be around
school-
1,000 by the time we are done with 2019.
When I was in high
Jesus.
school, I believe the USAPL was maybe around 8,000. And last year, total. Last year we succeeded 22,000.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tripled in size.
Yeah, and
Math.
and people to think that we are putting on meets, 5 platforms, multiple days, national level meets, and we are having the quality, the consistency. I mean, people don't realize what that takes. So when we talk about volunteering and giving back, we need to see more of that,
Yeah.
of these lifters.
Yeah.
And that's why to go back again to the credibility in these sub juniors and juniors, when I start to see you thoroughly investing yourself, not in just your lifting, but in what you're doing as far as the federation and what's going on around you,
Yeah.
that's when I'm going to give you some credibility of
Right.
what you actually are giving into this.
Well, and when you're talking about juniors, sub-juniors, there's a sub-junior category, right? I'm still
high
learning.
schoolers.
I was going to say, I'm still learning all of the, because I'm kind of tunnel visioned into here's where my weight class is, here's what I need to know to get through my stuff.
So sub
learning.
juniors are high schoolers up until 18 years of age, and then juniors is college up
Okay,
until the age
gotcha.
of 23.
Gotcha. So one thing that I think is really important is people like us right now in our open categories. I'm getting ready to be masters next year. Us volunteering, we don't realize how much these young lifters are watching us.
Yeah.
Holy shit, are they watching us? And it's such an amazing, empowering moment when you take that moment to realize that your one video saying, oh my God, this is the best bench I've had since my injury, or, you know, Kip, you coming in and having some of your stuff, or even like yesterday with Bonica being at American Strength and seeing these local lifters lifting with someone of her stature. These are things that these young lifters are looking at. Well, now you take us and it's a picture of Alice as a referee, or, you know, you sitting there in the chair, or me going and announcing something, or Cole, you being seen as a coach on the sidelines helping. When you start to see those people that you've been watching the whole time volunteer
Yeah.
and become involved,
It just sets that tone.
it sets the precedence and it sets the tone, and that's how you build a passion for something along those lines. And that is so important, because you'll never be able to pass the torch.
If nobody's willing to take it.
Exactly.
And that's where stronger communities come from. I mean, if you're going to get a great strength within a powerlifting community, you get a group of people that make it where getting yourself involved, giving back, that becomes quote unquote cool.
Right.
You're going to influence more people to do that.
Yep.
Well, and let's be real. How often have we done a meet and not had a little bit of fun volunteering, right?
yeah.
So I know it's work and it's hard, and God bless spotters and loaders, because I would hurt myself. There's no way that my body could handle spotting and loading for a meet. I know that. So I know I can't do that. But those who can and do, fucking praise be for them. And even they, through all that hard work, all that sweat, they still have a good time too. And I think that's something that we see a lot of as well.
As a head referee, I always make a point that I have high expectations, high standards, but I try to be as motivating and try to make it as fun as possible.
Yeah.
And with that, I've in my 2 years of judging so far, I've had a lot of good luck with the fastest platforms, with very minimal misloads, all catches, and to me, that's just accountability as a referee. But actually appreciating the people that are there. They're taking the time out of theirs. I mean, for me to do a powerlifting meet, like when I went to Wisconsin High School State, that took out my entire weekend.
Yeah.
And so the fact that I volunteered myself, but these people that are around me also sacrificing their time, I also am going to show appreciation and try to motivate them and be like, all right, if we do this well, we can be done sooner.
Yeah.
And not that we want to
Yeah.
try to rush the process, but the fact that we can get through this thoroughly and quickly and do a great job in the meantime. And it's also going to provide a quality platform for the lifters.
And give them the best experience possible. as well.
Absolutely. And the last meet that I did, the Masters Brawl at American Strength, I received a lot of compliments in the fact that I ran a strict platform and I offered them a better experience because they just felt like it was run that much
More
better.
professionally. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, and that's when progress is made. When you have a strict platform, when it's not loosey-goosey, when shit isn't going awry or this one's a little wavery for that, when you stick to, that's why I think the strong rules, that's why I think, that's why I love the drug testing platform in this, my brain is mush. It's a long
Federation.
day. Thank you. That's why I love the drug testing in this federation, especially because that's taken care of. That's black and white. It's done. And now I find my way to best fit and into this. And how do I make myself better within that? Like I know where my road is. Now I have to find out the best way to perform on that road.
This is why I love the USAPL, because it sets the bar.
Yeah.
And I'm not throwing shade on USPA or anything, but to me, people are just pissing them on about all these policies and everything. They all came from somewhere. As we grow, we're going to come into more conflicts. We come into more change, and that's going to bring more policy, more rules. But
Any policy change is going to come with some
backlash.
friction. Yeah.
But
Right.
as we tighten up the rule and we minimize the amount of fluctuations, when we talk about 2 hour weigh-ins, stiff bars, everything is so strict because it minimizes the amount that people can take advantage of it.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's and to go into being a referee, spotters, and everything. The more consistent, strict platforms that we can provide, I think it's going to provide better experience for a wider span or a wider variety of lifters. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I mean, it's just and I've been to UPA meets, I've been to USPA meets, I've been to
USPA meets are fucking crackerjack crazy. At least the one I went to,
Yeah.
and
I haven't been to
it
one
was
yet.
fun. I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot of fun. But when I really started to very seriously think about it, I was like, that was fucking animal crackers. Like
Yeah.
that was nuts. Like I had a coach on my platform that wasn't even my coach screaming at me from behind.
It's
I mean,
just-
it was fucking crazy.
And like you said, I wouldn't necessarily say it's bad, but it's just different, and it
Totally.
depends on what you're looking for.
Right.
Like if I'm looking for the platform to put my skills and my work on display in the most professional and
Strict.
unquestionable way, then I'm going to the USAPL.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. Like there's always going to be room for question just because the human error,
Absolutely.
all this stuff.
Right.
Nothing is perfect.
Right. But the USAPL has managed to minimize that at this point as much as we possibly can. And that's where I want to be. I don't want any questions surrounding my squat there's a ton of a lot of people might not know, but there's this guy named Tom Callis who he lifts in the APF, which is a very questionable federation, and he's hit 2 quote unquote world records squats that are easily they're high.
Yep.
They're high squats.
I've seen them.
They're not even close. But he continues to he just.
So you're telling me that if I was squatting in the APF?
Oh yeah, you'd be
okay.
Oh,
You'd be
fucking
solid.
I'm noting. Gonna look that up right now. I'm kidding.
But I mean, he's had to go to bat to
By
defend
the way, you
his
both just
squats.
proved that I'm not hitting depth at my squats. I appreciate that. Thanks, you assholes.
No, but I mean, he's had to go to bat to defend his squats, and all he says is like, "Hey, I got three white lights." But there's
Whose white lights are they, buddy?
but
like,
at the same
come on.
time, like everyone's like, "Well, whatever." They weren't to depth. Right. Whereas you go to USAPL, there's no fucking question. If you got white lights, you fucking earned those white lights.
Right.
If we compare federations in the level of consistency, yes, there's definitely inconsistency within every federation. But if we look at the amount of consistency with each federation, the USAPL is the most consistent.
Yeah, I agree.
If that makes sense.
I agree.
Can I ask a side note question? Kip, you're not by chance a ref for the Ladies of Iron, are you?
No.
Thank God.
Oh jeez.
I'd be like, here's a 50.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna slip him some
I was
money.
gonna be like, here's a 50 and a 24-pack of Green Monster.
Just blink really long.
I need you to make sure you're on my right side or my left side because it runs high. Okay.
Oh, there you go. Blink really long.
Now I'm pretty surprised. Josh has been pretty quiet for quite some time.
I'm just letting you guys
I
talk.
haven't heard any penis joke or
There
any
hasn't
ginger
been any-
reference or
There hasn't been
anything.
any
Penile-
option for it yet.
Yeah, it's almost like a penile joke dysfunction.
We've been
Yeah.
pretty PC today. Maybe it was
I
because we
know.
started early.
Maybe it's because we were talking about legit things that didn't have to do with poop or penises.
Sorry.
Yeah, we actually had an agenda.
Yeah.
I know,
Sorry about
weird.
that.
We're gonna
That's
lose
okay.
listeners because we didn't talk about stupid shit.
I know. Somebody mentioned jockstrap itch or something. Like, it has to be something locker roomy. That's what everybody seems to love. Everybody that has commented on the cast
So
says,
talk to me
I
about
love
the
that
worst
it's-
wedgie you've ever gotten in a
Oh my
squat
God.
suit.
Oh,
Well, when I was in high
I got
school,
a story
Here we
for
go.
it too.
when I was in high school, my suit was so small I didn't wear it. I was commando the whole time because
Oh,
I
really?
could
Oh,
not
shit.
I could not get my squat suit on if I had underwear on.
Just dick swinging.
I had
No, it wasn't swinging. It was
I
probably
had
still in
tight.
his liver.
So on the bottom of your legs, you have a seam, and I had a seam scar for 2 years.
Oh
Holy
god,
Wow.
that's how small
Jeez,
that
dude,
bitch
go on a
was.
fucking diet.
This is why I'm also.
Fat as fuck, man. Don't get a bigger suit. Get smaller.
This was exactly why when I mentioned to Cole, I said, Becky was thinking she would totally send me up one of her suits for bench. And we realized that Becky and I have boobs and Becky doesn't really. And Cole looks at me and he goes, first of all, no. Second of all, I'm the one who has to put you in that suit. No. Third of all, I just don't think it's going to happen.
It's hilarious.
I'm like,
I wouldn't
Let's be
completely throw
realistic
it
here.
out of question because there is definitely a process in how to get going into equip lifting. Your first suit is going to be a modified singlet.
Yeah,
It-
it's going to be
Single
loose, it's gonna
ply,
be-
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's all single ply.
Yeah,
like,
it's all,
okay.
so
Yeah.
it's like Becky's, what does she call it? Her emotional support belt. Her
Yeah.
I
pink
heard
belt
that.
that she wears.
It's there, but it's not really there.
Yeah, like it's just there to make her feel okay.
Yeah.
I love it. That's probably my favorite thing she's ever told me.
I
That
mean,
and when she busted out her tooth with a phone.
I definitely wouldn't throw you away from trying equipped. I think it's definitely
I have to wait though.
I have a bunch of multiply gear in my apartment.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
God, it's like having a sex room if you're a power lifter.
have
You're
a
like,
bench
dude, I have
shirt.
an entire room filled
I
with
know.
multiply gear.
No.
I have a bench shirt, multiply open back bench shirt, and
Wow.
and a squat suit.
Do you see what color Kip just turned? He like turned 2 shades of red. He got really excited when he mentioned that.
I know, but it's multiply, so
I'm
it's
not
not
it.
even lifting.
He's not. Yeah.
No.
It's not the same.
Okay, so for anyone listening, me, what's the difference between single ply and multiply?
More layers of
Canvas or denim or.
So is
whatever.
multiply
Neoprene or
harder to lift in?
yes,
Okay.
There's-
significantly.
Yeah.
Now, is that even allowed?
not in
not in-
USAPL IPF?
Okay. Only single ply in USAPL.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Noted.
Multiply.
Hitting depth is even harder.
Yeah, and it's barely powerlifting. It's
Is that like World's Olympic-y kind of level-y, kind of like, is it
No.
like way at the top of the chain, or is it just
No.
the random like?
It's like off to the side, like the freak show.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like
It's the
I know
circus
this
show.
guy who's got a truck down on Maine.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, I respect people that do it and are successful in it, but it's
Like this, like if you just look at the lifts, they don't look like the same lifts.
okay.
that's a great way to describe
Like
it.
when you look at a single ply squat, it looks like a squat. When you look at a multi-ply squat, it looks like a.
It looks like they're
fucking-
sitting in an invisible chair.
Yes.
But their feet are super wide. They're sitting their hips back.
They
into
don't
their
walk it
suit.
out.
Nope.
Oh, that's
It's
right.
it's
They
with
have the hoist.
monolift.
Yeah, the monolift. There you go.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's
I know what
and,
I'm.
and it is.
I know what I'm
it's like they're
YouTubing
sitting in a
tonight.
chair.
yeah.
The amount of ass they stick out is ridiculous.
And
my
they
God.
barely hit depth ever.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is like it was made for me, you guys.
Yeah.
Large ass doesn't hit depth.
Doesn't have
Just
to
has
walk
to
it
sit,
out.
no walking it out.
Big bench,
That's it.
Oh,
Big
open.
bench. Boom. I'm telling you, I
open
was
back,
built.
big ass bench.
Oh yeah.
You can barely get your
Two-
arms in the
it-
sleeves
it'll
and stretch
throw-
them.
200, 300 pounds on your bench.
Oh
for
my
most people.
God, can we do it just once? Can we do it just once?
That's not how it works.
You
though.
don't just,
know.
yeah, exactly. We already went over this. You don't just jump in a suit and be like, "Hey, check out."
This is why you get a
pounds.
could because I just got that little spark of oh fuck.
You could start
that
with
was
like a
fucking
slingshot.
amazing.
If you want a moment
brakes.
of getting humbled, you throw on a bench shirt.
Yeah.
Because
You want to
will-
kiss the bar? Throw on a bench shirt.
Yeah.
And not in a good way.
even when I get back into my equipment, it's like, oh man, how the hell am I going to touch my chest? Oh man, how the hell am I going to hit depth? I mean,
Yeah.
it takes.
It's painful.
You know what I think it excites me the most about it is the fucking challenge. Like,
absolutely.
Oh man, like that would excite me. But right now, my challenge is just. I don't know if you know this, but my challenge is on May 4th. I just need to hit all 3 squats. I don't care if it's 2 white lights on all 3 of them. I'd love for it to be 3 white lights, but I just want to hit all 3 squats, even if they're only $1.35 a piece.
Yep.
That's all I care about.
That's okay.
Deadlift and bench, I already told them I don't fucking care. They're there. I like them where they're at. This is my last meet for like 6-7 months.
And after you do that, you are going to feel successful because you went through all the bullshit to get to that day, that
Right.
moment in time.
That's
So-
what I am fucking. That's what I think about every fucking day when I'm at the gym because I haven't done a meet in over a year.
I'm
I
so
haven't-
excited for you, by
I
the
will be
way.
at a year.
I haven't truly
month.
PR'd, like really in any.
Now,
lift.
are you doing the Twin Cities Open?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the one that got moved.
Yep.
Yeah, and then
June 8th, and then.
now
it's
are you
fucking
automatically
nuts.
qualified for Nats?
Yeah, because I qualified last year technically, so I
Okay.
don't need to do this meet to get in.
But I think you should because hello,
I haven't done a meet in a year.
because
so
I need to make buttons with your face on them. Hello. I don't know if you know this, Kip, but I am legitimately the gym mom. And so for nationals, my plan is to have a fanny pack of snacks of what I know all my lifters like to eat while they're lifting. And I will have like almost like football mom pins on with all their faces on it. And
We
it's
should
going to
just-
be fucking
We
glorious.
should just bring a rolling cooler every day to the.
I would
venue.
fuck rolling
I've done
cooler.
it.
I'll get the kind that you like. I'll do the one you can fucking ride around on. Have you seen those on
Oh,
wheels?
yeah, yeah.
It's fucking brilliant. Be like,
Let's,
hi guys, I got you Freezy Pops and some Uncrustables.
Uncrustables is my.
I'll get you
go-to meat
Pedialyte
food.
Pops and Uncrustables.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, fuck right. Yeah.
Well, you know, if this is at Raw Nats, you better bring a whole bucket full of Sour Patch Kids because that's
Oh my god.
Right?
you know you gotta have all the raw necessities. You better have
Yep.
your stash of headbands and you
Yep.
know your backup of A7 or SBD, you know, stuff like have little pockets on side of the cooler of your.
Oh my God, you guys have
extra
no idea
gear.
that I'm doing
So
this.
then you got Sour Patch Kids, your Skittles, your gummy worms, and then you better have
Your Audi Powers and your basic
because
USAPL.
raw lifters seem to be great at losing shit. And
Yeah.
Totally. And I just want you to know that it's like that scene in Grease when she goes, if you can't be an athlete, be an athletic supporter. That is who I will be. I will be the jockstrap of this motherfucking team.
All right. On that note,
Hey!
let's bring this sucker in for a landing. Kip, thank you for making the drive all the way out to wonderful St. Cloud, Minnesota,
Absolutely.
to be on the cast. It's been awesome. That's it from us at the Coaches Collaboration Podcast.
Boom.
We'll see you next time.
We don't know how to end it, Kip. We have not figured out how to end it without sounding like
very
a
well
fucking idiot.
aware. You guys go through this every time you
see
go to
you
close.
later.
Drop it like a squat.
No.
The Coaches Collaboration Podcast.
What do you mean you haven't subscribed yet? What the hell are you waiting for?
Come on, y'all. The Coaches Collaboration Podcast is brought to you by The Complete Athlete, providing world-class world-class continuing education for fitness trainers, coaches, and gyms. Online at getcomplete.net.